Woman 1 was an artwork that rose controversy even during a time where unusual artwork wasn't uncommon. Made by a man named William de Kooning during the Cold War era with oil on canvas, it was a painting that, to this day, raised the eyebrows of many as they try to wonder what it might represent. Kooning was one of the most influential artists of the 1950s, and Woman 1 was his best-known piece of art. But before analyzing what his work means, you have to know the background behind Kooning as an artist. Kooning studied at the Rotterdam Academy in Netherlands, where he practiced classical and traditional art styles. When in his youth, Kooning produced early abstract art as a hobby whenever he wasn't working as a sign painter. Before Kooning had rose to be one of the most influential artists of the 50s, he was a state-paid artist during the Great Depression. After just coming out of a lively jazz era in the 20s where many artists flourished, the Great Depression deeply influenced his view on art as he was disillusioned by the hardships many Americans faced during the Great Revolution. Kooning had gained his income by painting murals and artworks commissioned by the government-controlled association WPA. His work at the time was never recognized since it was just one of the many murals painted by state artists, but they still sparked his interest in the art of the abstract nonetheless. Soon after the Great Depression, World War II took place. France had become conquered by the Third Reich. As a result of this, the art and culture had greatly diminished during their German occupation. America, specifically New York City, had become the center of creativity in the world. William de Kooning's popularity truly grew after he delved deeper into the world of the abstract. He explored biometric shapes, gestures, abstracted landscapes, pared-down forms, and finally the figure of the woman. He was best known for his action painting, which were works of art that seemed to be in motion and violence. They were characterized mainly by energetic and agitated strokes and colors. Woman 1 was no exception to this recurring theme in his art. It used a jumbling array of slashing lines and bright but angry color patches. The color of the background was created to be almost indiscernible from the colors of the focal figure. This technique was called no environment by Kooning. Like much of his art, this artwork was intended to feel raw and intense, in order to emphasize the aggressive, erotic, and threatening pose of the woman. The unconventional depiction of the female figure was made to contrast with the stereotypical and idyllic view of the woman during 1950s America. The ideal feminine form during this Cold War time period depicted women as how society saw the role of women, submissive housewives meant to be ladylike and obedient. In addition to contemporary influences by popular views of women, for example, the Camel cigarette poster girl, this painting was also influenced by Neolithic and tribal depictions of women, where the ideal body of a woman was well-girthed and healthy. By blending contemporary and prehistoric traits, it reflects the age-old ambivalence and fear of the feminine figure. The unnatural form of the woman in the painting may also be interpreted as a satirical parody of a figure widely appraised as beautiful and iconic in art, the goddess of love, Venus. The extremely emphasized facial features, such as the enlarged eyes and the unnaturally toothy grin, are what characterize this work as a figure that came from the imagination of the artist. Her ungainly posture and menacing face may have represented the sexual frustration Kooning had experienced on a daily basis. Though this painting may be seen as grotesque and inhuman by the average viewer, underneath its unpleasant exterior lies commentary on not just Kooning's view, but our view on what the image of the perfect woman truly is. And it makes us rethink how we see the female. What does a woman do? What are they supposed to do? And how should they act? These are all questions that arise in our heads when contemplating the true meaning behind the piece. William de Kooning's Woman 1 was one of the more controversial art pieces of the 20th century. It provided conversation and deeper thought to many art enthusiasts, even to this day.